Hello, quilt artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel Under the Needle. So I'm here with an unboxing. I just got my Open Gate subscription box. So I'm going to open it. It's what it looks like. Let's see what we got. So this would be for the month of May. My box came yesterday, but I wasn't able to open it yesterday. So I'm opening it today. So this box is $42 a month. It's curated by Monique Jacobs over at Open Gate Quilts, and it is $42 a month, $42 a month plus any applicable tax, and then of course shipping. Okay, and so this is what our box looks like. And so the way the subscription works is that each month we generally get a larger project and a smaller project. So the larger project might be like a wall hanging or table runner or a pillow or something really cool. And then there'll be a smaller project that could be anything from like a zipper pull to a lanyard. So let's see what we got this month. Okay. Okay. So, this is going to be great. Okay, so I can tell you I'm going to be making the smaller project. So last month I thought I was going to make the smaller project, but I was so geeked by the bigger project that I ended up doing that one instead. Where is that puppy at? I want to show you guys, because I don't know if you guys saw my video where I did it. I don't know. Hold on. Okay, so last month's larger project was a wall hanging, and I had to do it because the colors just matched perfectly my the paint in my living room. So it's going to perfectly match my living room and my kitchen. So I can actually use this as a wall hanging, or I can use this as a table topper in my kitchen. It's going to work either way. Well, the furniture gets delivered on Monday, so when I get the table, I'm pretty sure it's going to fit just fine. This was last month's project. I did kind of mess up a little bit because I wasn't paying attention. We were supposed to do our flying geese opposite, so that these two fabrics were supposed to be the same. They were supposed to be the same, but I wasn't paying attention. So this is the wall hanging, and then it was just like perfect because I had bought this piece of like this 1 yard of this fabric that I absolutely loved. Had no idea what I was going to do with it, but it worked perfectly for this wall hanging. So again, not sure if this is going to go on the wall or if it's going to go on the table. Probably the table. It'll probably go on the table. And I do like that I can use it on either side, and it'll be just as pretty. So pretty excited. So I'm hoping that the larger project won't be calling my name this month, because I want to try to get a quilt bound tomorrow. I did some basting. I don't know why I'm talking about all this, but let me get on to the unboxing. Okay, so. Okay. There's so much in here. Okay, so we have. Okay, this is the smaller project that I'm probably going to end up doing, because I was just reading it. Okay, so it is hand-sewn quilt labels, and it includes 2 sewing labels by J. Wrecker Frisch for Riley Blake Fabrics. I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied today. I don't know why I can't speak today. But in here we have 2 labels. We have freezer paper, which is right here. We have a straw needle, a size 10 straw needle, and a micron Pigma pen. So the pen, I guess, is where you would use to write whatever you wanted to write on your label. I don't know if I have a quilt to put this on right now. I know a quilt. I know what quilt it would be perfect for. So actually, I probably can't do this because there's nothing to. Let's see. Let me look at the instructions. Um, Place the shiny side of the freezer paper on the wrong side. Use in place. Using the pen, write on the fabric side of your label because the freezer paper gives it a stable place to write. Um, Once you've written on your label, press using a hot dry iron to set the ink, and then you fold the seam allowances over and then do a blind hem stitch to attach it to your quilt. I think that I'm going to end up using these on the project that I did. I have a couple of quilt tops that are completed, and this particular style of quilt label will go good for that because it's like a Tim Holtz. It's a um, Tim Holtz fabric for the top, and then the back is kind of like this. And so I think that these would look great with that kind of distressed Tim Holtz type vibe. So I'm going to use those for those quilts. So I won't be able to do the smaller project now because I'm not making the quilt label really, am I? I'm just attaching it to the quilt. So I don't have one ready yet that matches this. The two quilts that I have ready to go, kind of, this doesn't this will kind of look weird with them. Okay, now the smaller project, y'all. So it's a table runner. This is what it looks like. Y'all, we have a full charm pack in this puppy. So here we have, so the charm pack is from Sweet Liberty by Brenda Riddle Designs for Moda. And then there's a red tone-on-tone, which is spotted in the color Raspberry by Zen Chic for Moda. And then we have a full color pattern and picture. Oh, and there's also two other fabrics in here. These two other fabrics are from the same line as the charm pack. This is pretty. Y'all can't even see it. I'm doing it the wrong way. See if I can kind of flip through, see some of the prints. A lot of stripes in here, of course a lot of florals. I know you guys didn't get a good look, but this is pretty. Now, what I might do is I might make the table runner, but I might have to source some different color fabrics and then make the table runner match my kitchen. So what I can do then is this one from last month, I can take this one from last month and I can use it as a table topper on the table in my living room. So there's a small square table in my living room, and I've got kids and they do stupid things. One of them decided to cut an apple on my table. An apple. And so there's cut marks in it. And then I'm pretty sure there's some paint that accidentally got on it. And I think I got the paint off. Actually, I think I was able to get the paint off. But there's some other scratches and dings just because you can't have anything nice when you have children because they will mess it all up. So the table could use a little covering. So maybe I'll use this as a table topper in my living room and then use the pattern to make a table topper for my kitchen table. So I still have a piece of this backing fabric left. So I'm wondering if I have enough of this backing to do a table runner. Probably not. It's not looking like I got enough. How much do I need? $54 by $21. No, unfortunately, it's not enough. It's not enough. But I don't mind piecing a back. So something might come of this. I want to use this so that they'll kind of match back. So maybe I'll find a way to use it in the front or find a way to piece it in the back. But I'm going to find a way to finish using this so that I have coordination between the table topper that I'm going to put in the living room that I made from last month's box and then the table runner that I might make for my kitchen table. But it's probably going to be a couple weeks before I can do it because I really want to get a binding on a quilt that I completed, and I really want to get, I have another quilt that I basted, and I really want to go ahead and get that quilt. I want to just get a few lines of stitching in just to kind of stabilize the quilt, you know. Yeah, I want to get a few lines of stitching in. So that's going to be tomorrow. So I'm not, and then I think tomorrow evening, I have a graduation party to go to. So it's going to be a couple weeks before I can make it, but definitely want to use this pattern here because I do like the pinwheels. I like the pinwheels in the middle. So it's probably some type of secondary design that pops out when you put your blocks together. Yeah. This is nice. It even has a little border around it. It's kind of hard to see. I didn't even notice it at first. There's a little border going around. This is nice. I like this fabric. It just doesn't match my house. So I want to use the pattern to make something that does. So what I think I'll do is, since the furniture is going to be delivered on Monday, and then I'm going to have to do some accessorizing because I think before everything was kind of like on a red and black theme. So everything I have doesn't match, from oven mitts to my Keurig to my toaster to the stools at the two stools at the counter and the rugs. None of it's going to match anymore. None of it. So I can't afford to replace it all at one time, of course, but I will slowly work on replacing it. Okay, so that's the larger project. Okay. And then we have our Notion of the Month, which is a motor reference guide. I'm not sure what this is. Let me see what this is. Oh, okay, I see. So this has all kinds of cool stuff in it, all in one place. So telling you how to convert yardage into inches, into decimals, standard sizes of mattresses and battings. So a crib is generally 27 by 52, and a crib batting is generally 45 by 60. There's some sample quilt sizes in here. We've got the backing yardage the backing yardage conversion formula. So that's kind of neat. Oh, this is really cool because you're on point. So I do have one of these, but it's not with everything. A lot of stuff I have to like look it up on my computer. I'm hoping they got halves or triangles in here because I have to look it up every time. But it tells you the diagonal measurement of your blocks when you put them on point, and what your corner and side setting triangles should be, and gives you the mathematical formula if you have an off size. That's kind of neat. Oh, making mini quilts. So half size conversion chart. So it tells you, oh, so if something is like 1 inch, if in the original size you would need a 2.5 inch square, to make it mini and make it half size, you would need a 1.5 inch square. I've not seen this particular conversion chart before. It's called a half size conversion chart. I think that's pretty neat. So like theoretically, if you found a quilt pattern that was only made in one size and it was like a king or a queen and you wanted to make it, but you didn't want to make it that big, you could just use this conversion chart and to cut your pieces. So if it says cut a 9.5 inch square, you would look at this and be like, no, I need a 5 inch square. That's pretty neat. And then we have a half square triangle half size conversion chart. So if you had something that needed a 6 inch unfinished half square triangle and you wanted to shrink the quilt and do it half the size, you would need a 3.5 inch or something like that. I could be reading this wrong. No, you would cut a 3.5 inch square. So, okay. So if you're in your original quilt, okay, it doesn't really matter. So there is some information here on half square triangles, but not the math for them. So that would have been kind of cool if they had put the half square triangle math, like for 4 at a time, for 2 at a time, 4.5, and 8 at a time. But you can't have everything, right? I do have another booklet that has that, so I can combine these two booklets and pretty much have all the information that I need at a glance. So this will actually go in my little top drawer over here so that I have access to it when I need it. But for the most part, I do most of my quilts from a pattern, so I don't have to worry about it. It tells you what pre-cuts are and what size they are and how many you get and the different things that you can do with different types of squares, different ways to cut a layer cake, different ways to cut a fat quarter, and has a small pattern in here. This is neat. And then our extra in here, we have a pattern. It's called Sweet Treat. This is a small quilt. It is 44.5 by 44.5. It uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fabrics, including the binding, and you need 3 yards for the backing. You can tell that this is a lot of half square triangles and quarter square triangles and some plain squares. So simple construction. And of course you could always make more blocks and make this bigger. And then of course we have our Aurifil thread, and of course it's white to match our project. Okay, so that's what we have this month. Let me recap. We have our smaller project, which is some quilt labels. I'm going to use these quilt labels on a couple of Tim Holtz quilts that I have. I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably just going to put it with the quilts so that when I go to the quilt tops are done. They're both quilt tops. They're both Tim Holtz. They're both tops, completed tops made with Tim Holtz fabric, but I have not layered, basted, or quilted them. They're none of that. So, and I did these a year ago. And they're not even my oldest ones, so who cares? But love the Micron pen. I'm going to take the pin out and put it with the rest of my pens so that I have it. I don't want to store the pen with the thing here. But yeah. Or this would even work on the quilt that I did with the root bundle from eBond, because that's kind of an eclectic type. But I think it'll go better with the Tim Holtz. I really do. I think it's going to go better with the Tim Holtz. I do also have, is it called Handmade by J. Wicker Fresh? It was a line she put out a few years ago. No, Old Maid. It was Old Maid. I do have some of that fabric, but I don't have a quilt top made with it. And I don't know if I want to save these labels for the one day eventually, 15 years from now, when I finally pull out that fabric and make something. So I'd rather use these for, or at least match these with a top that's done, because that's more likely to get, that's going to get completed way before I pull down that fabric. I don't even know where it is right now. probably behind the other fabric. So the fabric you see, it's not one layer. There's fabric behind it as well. And I believe that that's behind it because it's like orange and black. And even though it's not really Halloween, it's still orange and black. Anyway. And then our larger project, Strawberry Swirl. Because we've got the little pinwheel swirled throughout. I do want to make this. The instructions look pretty simple. The cutting is simple. The sewing is simple. This is simple. This is going to be easy to put together. And our notion is this Moda reference guide. Pretty neat. It's got some stuff in, I have a reference guide, and this has stuff in it that one doesn't. So kind of neat. And then we have our pattern, the Sweet Treat pattern, 44.5 by 44.5. And then of course we have our Aurifil thread, which matches our project, as always. And now, also, I have another box. I think I've got enough for now, though. Maybe. I usually, I'll keep them for a couple of weeks and then see if I want to keep it or not. So we'll see. But yeah, that's our box for this month, and love it as usual. Definitely going to be making that table topper, and I will see you guys next video.